Hi, folks. This is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report. I know it's away from us, but still a lot of people think of, wouldn't it be fun to go in the Salmon River or any of the tributaries down there and catch a great big steelhead? Now, we can't catch the big salmon now because they're all gone. They've all died since the spawning run. But now the river has both steelhead and brown trout in it, and steelhead are basically rainbow trout. But how do you fish it? It's a new body of water you haven't fished before. I talked to the folks at Fat Nancy's, and yes, there's a wonderful tackle shop called Fat Nancy's in Pulaski. And I called them to see, just what the conditions were right now. And you have to remember that the Salmon River is controlled by water flow parts of dams upstream. And so that water level is constantly changing. They let you know in advance just how strong the current is going to be. But the water's been, obviously it's cold as heck right now. We know that because it's not long before most water will become ice. But right now the water's been higher. There's been a lot of runoff. They've had the streams running. When the water's higher, number one, most of those fish now, because I mentioned to the folks at Fat Nancy's, when I've gone over 81, I haven't seen any people fishing the river. They say they're all upstream, and there's about 5 guides that are fishing it every single day throughout the winter, and they haven't had anybody getting skunked. But they're fishing the farther upstream regions. Now, eventually they'll get up to where the hatchery is and the dam, and they can't go any farther. In this upper region is where most of these steelhead and trout are right now. And the best thing that you can use in fishing the river is either an egg sac or some kind of beads in imitation, basically, of an egg sac, or flies. And the fly patterns will change by the day. So what's the most important thing to remember? Is the water's flowing stronger? The water's going to be dirtier. The more current, the more runoff, it's going to be dirtier water. And so brighter colored egg sacs or beads are going to be better. As the flow gets down, the fish are going to concentrate more in different pools, and they're going to react more to more natural colors. The other thing to remember, and I asked him, I said, are most of the fish that are going to be there in the Salmon River, are they there right now? In other words, are there new runs of fish coming through every day? Are they coming in from Lake Ontario? And the answer is basically yes, most of the fish are there right now. And yes, if the water current gets really strong, if there's a lot of runoff, that stimulates fish that are waiting out there in Lake Ontario to come in the river. So when you have strong, really torrent conditions, it does bring new fish into the river. But there's going to be fish there all winter long. And like I said, I think the best advice to anybody is to go in a shop like Fat Nancy's. They're talking to people all the time. They're giving them advice. They're teaching them how to go out and fish this absolute gem of a waterway. There's not many places quite like this in the world, and especially in this country, where you can have these gargantuan trout and salmon coming in from Lake Ontario into the stream and have fishing all fall and all winter long. In the spring, before they all leave, there'll be a big run that'll come in the spring. So we do have that kind of fishing that we can take part in the winter, but my biggest suggestion is stop at a shop like Fat Nancy's and get advice. It can save you a lot of time, and it can make the difference of whether you have fishing success or failure. Until next time, folks, this is Don Meisner with the North Country Fishing Report.